If I quit my job, change career, and move to a new country, then finally I'll be free. And that was a thought I had almost 4 years ago. And I was so wrong because I thought changing the external circumstances would create that freedom for me. But even after leaving London, getting rid of 99% of my belongings, and traveling the world, I was still stuck in my head. I was still doubting myself, second guessing my decisions, and wondering if I was doing the right thing. This idea of doing things I should be doing, making sure I didn't upset anyone else, doing things that made me feel like I belonged, that I was accepted and loved. And the truth is, when you change your lifestyle, when you move to a new country, when you do something out the ordinary, it doesn't just change everything automatically. In fact, changing the external is the easy part. The hard work, the real work, is the inner work. Because no matter where you are, your problems will go with you until you resolve them at the deepest level. And I learned this through years of practice, years of experience. But it doesn't need to take that long. In fact, while it can feel quite daunting, you can literally change your life within a few hours. I created this method called the mirror method, where we look at the part of you that's holding you back, that's creating the patterns, the cycles, and the loops in your life. And by going through this method, it allows you to uncover what it is that is holding you back, that stops you from being the truest version of you. And when you identify what that is, everything opens up for you, because you can start moving forward through life without hesitation, without the second guessing, without the constantly looking over your shoulder, wondering, am I doing the right thing? And when I did that in my life, that's when I finally felt free. That's when I felt like I was away from the prison that I had created in my mind. Because we're all living in prisons, but the prisons are created by ourselves. They're created by the limitations within our mind. And these limitations are learnt. They're learnt through childhood, they're learnt through school, they're learnt through our connections, our society, our friends, the groups we hang around with. They're all learnt limitations. But once you learn to let go of these, let go of the fear, let go of the doubt, let go of the worries of making the wrong decisions, of doing things the wrong way, not how they should be, it unlocks this freedom within you that feels like bliss. And when I work with clients, it's amazing to see them have this realization, and the weight just releases from their body. It's like their shoulders drop, the tension in the back of their neck just releases. They start breathing deeper. And in many of them, I just see them looking so much lighter. This smile, this feeling of freedom, liberation is just glowing through them. And I really want this for you. If you're struggling with making decisions, if you feel like fear is potentially holding you back, if you are living life on a cycle, overthinking, finding the same patterns over and over again, there is a way out. But the challenge is that you're not going to find it in the next book. You're not going to find it in your next insight. You're not going to find it in the next course. And you're probably not going to find it in your next therapy session. Because you need to go to the root. You need to find the part of you that you're not willing to see right now. And through that mirror method would enable you to get there. And there's two parts of this work, because once you have the awareness, you still need to integrate it. And I think this is missing a lot, because a lot of people, they will get the insights, they'll understand where their pattern comes from, but then they don't integrate it into their day-to-day life. And your nervous system needs to feel safe. Your body needs to feel secure to be able to move forward, to live the life that you want to create. And if that's a life of calm, a life of clarity, and feeling like you are in control again, then these are the steps that you need to take. Find what's holding you back, create that awareness, understand your patterns, and then train your body to feel safe to move forward. And what I find with a lot of my clients is they're very self-aware. So if you're watching this, you've probably done a lot of work. And you'll find yourself in a position, and I describe it like you're standing at the edge of a cliff. And you know you can't step forward because you'll fall. But you also don't want to step back because it's taken you so long to get there. And when you're faced with the drop, the fear is at its highest. It's when everything seems most scary. It's the part that feels most risky, because letting go is terrifying. And when you think about it in terms of whether it's a job or a business or a client that you're holding on to, that is not just a job, a business, or a client. That is also your identity. That is also how you see yourself as someone working in that job, as someone who has that business, who's someone who's working with that client. That is who you are. And we do everything we can to protect our identity, the story that we've been telling ourselves. The ego is so fragile. And to change that identity, to take the jump, that leap of faith off the cliff, is often the final step that you need. But there's that one thing that's holding you back. If you're ready to discover what that is, I've opened up a few 20-minute slots for conversations. My one-to-one is currently closed, so I can't take on any clients at the moment, but if you're curious of what it is that's holding you back, I'd love to help you explore that. So book in a call. The link is in the description. And if it aligns, we can put you on the waiting list for my one-to-one, which will be opening hopefully very soon. If not, it will be a really great opportunity for you to see where this blockage is, how we can unlock that pattern, how we can shift the way that you're looking at your life. Because as with my clients, once they cut that final cord, once they take that final step, which feels so risky, they start flying. And I imagine it like a bird sitting on the branch of a tree, and its wings aren't strong enough to just float upwards. It needs to dive first to create some momentum, to then open its wings and glide. And I'm not telling you to go and jump off a cliff. This is all metaphorical. But once you can teach your body that the reason that you're not jumping from that branch is because of the old story, and that actually you will be safe and you will fly, then all of a sudden you lean into this decision of trust, of believing in yourself and backing yourself, and knowing that your wings will open up as soon as you come off that branch. If this resonates with you, I'd love to have a chat. So feel free to book a call in if there's still some spaces. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.